and good morning. Man, my glasses are dirty. I gotta fix this. I'm so glad I can read. This is my perfect glass cleaner right here. I'm so glad I can read because I was gonna rip these pedals a new one, just like the other ones. Just like the other Royce Musical Instruments effects. And I was like, those are, what's the deal with them? But that would have been really unfair without understanding the history, without understanding the purpose, like the Maestro Fuzz, which is the Royce Kleiner Scheißkerl. And, trying to create a true replica of one of the first pedals ever made. Now, if you play these without knowing the purpose in the guitar player who wanted this pedal, which I don't know the guy, but I read up on him, it makes so much more sense now. So, I would have done Royce and these pedals a disservice by just looking at the pedal itself. On its own merits, I'm sorry, I don't get it. The way I play. But the way Roland S. Howard played, it apparently made a lot of sense. Now, Roland S. Howard was this Australian guitar player who blah blah blah, I don't know, some bands, and then Nick Cave, who again, I don't quite know, 70s, late 70s. Forget about it. I read a few things. Using it with a lot of reverb, okay, that's what he did. He used to engage the extra distortion for some noise bursts. Haha, he liked feedback, he liked noise, he liked to create dissonant soundscapes, okay, and he liked to play really high notes. In the same sentence it also says they were not very successful commercially. Okay, dissonant high notes, eek, and noise, fine, but if that's what you're looking for, having really high notes in your music, quite a lot, it makes sense to have an octave pedal that creates a lower octave to fill out that bottom end. So that makes a lot more sense. So let's look at the Royce RSH-03 and the Royce Evil Twin ET-01. From that point of view, let's look at it from that point of view of someone who likes to play high notes, do noisy soundscape stuff. Not for someone who likes to go or play, Steve Vai or whatever. So I'm just saying because I have an Ibanez here. The difference between the RSH-03 and the Evil Twin is very simple. The RSH-03 is made in, I think, Denmark by hand with NOS parts. NOS means new old stock. That means they're old parts that have been lying around for a shitload of time, but have never been used. So they're brand new, but they're old. You can find a lot of NOS pickups. Transistors, definitely transistors. NOS tubes are very coveted. Because you're not allowed to make tubes anymore the way that they were made. They used to be made. So if you find old tubes, I think they have mercury inside. I might be wrong about this. They have something inside that's illegal now. So they're better to some people, also more expensive, and of course they'll be extinct at some point. So these parts never come back. NOS, new old stock. That's what's in there. The Evil Twin is let's call it less expensive made. It's a cheaper made Chinese version of the same circuit. Clocks in at about 150, whereas the white one here clocks in at a little bit over $200. Now, what we have on the blue side is an octave fuzz, which apparently is some old MXR from the 70s, to create synthy kind of octave sounds with a little bit of a fuzz inside. Octave fuzz, that's what that says right there on the black one. And the plus is a distortion. You can engage those separately. You don't have a lot of control over either of them. I think it's very cute that on the RSH-03, it is made kind of for how Roland S. Howard had a setup, which was a twin reverb, and it says going to twin reverb, not output. And on the input, it says Jaguar, because he played a Fender Jag and a Fender Twin. And I think that's kind of nice on a signature pedal to put the signature setup of the player on there. Maybe just as an homage, maybe as a hint, hey, use this, you idiot, and not this. So that's neat. And also, I can only guess, because it says on the Royce Musical Instruments website, royceeffects.com, that $9 of each pedal, why 9, I don't know, go to cancer research. So I assume Roland S. Howard died of cancer. So props to a man with the pedal and the Fender and the, Actually, it's Royce is in contact with his estate, and that's going to the estate, and then it's going to read up on it. RoyceEffects.com. So let's look at it on the merits of the player that wanted it. It's a signature pedal. Means we're not playing power chords with it. It doesn't make sense. We're playing single notes because that's what that octave fuzz kind of thing wants. We're playing them high because if you play them low, the tracking kind of sucks, as we will see. I'm playing an Ibanez Premium RG721, blah, 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 I don't know what the rest of the numbers are, into a Carl Martin Custom Shop 50 with KD88s in the power amp, going downstairs into the basement into a Fender 112 cab, mic'd with a Sennheiser E609, going into the Apollo up here. And that sounds like so. So I'm going to start with, let's just do the same settings on both and then always switch back and forth. I think that's probably the fairest because they're trying to have the same sound. We'll see how they compare. Let's look at the octave side first. Volume drops quite considerably. And the sound dies rather quickly, so you might have to actively play to keep it going. I didn't turn the camera on. I'm sorry. Here they are. So we... well, I switched. First I was on the white one, now we're on the black one. Sorry, me idiot. So black one now. I want to look at the octave tracking so you can see up here it's absolutely fine. But let's listen to the octave by itself. Blend is all the way up now. is not going to happen in any way cleanly and with good tracking. So this is definitely a pedal for Roland S. Howard for high notes. Up here, everything's fine. So let's look at the disto side. Not a lot of low end there, but again, it was all about the high notes, and we had the octave in there anyway. And this was to push the already fuzzy sound, so as a distortion, but as an added gain stage to the octave fuzz, if you know what I mean. I was unfairly judging these without knowing who they were made for. So you might have to have some background when you check out a pedal to know what it's for, because if you approach it with your point of view, you might be doing it a disservice, as I would have done. Let's check it out the way he played it, which is with a lot of reverb, which I'm getting from my El Capistan. Yes, it has a spring reverb built in, so I'm assuming spring from his Fender Twin. But those are assumptions. For me is weird because I'm such a I play so diatonically usually, and I'm trying to, I don't know the guy, I don't know his work, so I'm trying to emulate what he might have done without knowing at all what he has done. this, it makes sense. It's a one-trick pony. It's like that one kind of sound with some more gain and high end in it. But hey, for that, it makes total sense. So let's go to my 2 cents. So there you have it. The Evil Twin and the RSH-03 Roland S. Howard signature pedal by Roy's Musical Instruments. I completely misunderstood what the pedal was supposed to do. When I first plugged it in, I just played it and was like, what the crap is this about? The tracking's bad, blah, 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 blah. But if you look at it from the point of view of someone who played high notes with a lot of reverb, in a particular setup, this makes sense. Stay up there, use the distortion to add some gain and bitiness to that rather dull octave sound, and you got yourself a sound. It's a one-trick pony, if you ask me. But that one trick is what Roland S. Howard needed, and no one ever claimed that the pedal did more than that. As for which one you should get, when I'm checking each side independently, so octave and octave, sounds the same to me. Distortion and distortion sound the same to me, so no difference, spend less money. Yet, when you engage both of them at the same time, on the white one, the actual signature pedal, it seemed, with the new old stock parts, it seemed to me as if they harmonized better, as if the two sides were working together to create one cohesive sound. And on the Evil Twin, the black one, to me it sounded as if there was something going on. They were fighting a bit, whether it's compression or distortion or harmonics. It's a tiny difference, and it might not matter to you at all, but it felt as if the white one was simply, when engaging both sides together, a little bit rounder, a little bit harmonizing better. Check out royceeffects.com. Royce, that's R, I'm German. I'm gonna have more coffee now. Thank you for checking out these videos on Royce Effects. I hope I gave you an idea. And don't just check him out as a pedal, check him out with the intended background. That's very important. I almost made that mistake, and luckily I read up on them. See you guys. Thanks, Royce, for sending those over.